We're here at Horns. I don't think we've talked about book club at all. So go watch/listen to book club that happened yesterday. This is obviously our book for the month, which the book is considered a dark fantasy, and the movie is considered a comedy horror, which I did not realize.
Yeah, it was interesting because we had thought about it, and it's one of my all-time favorites. So we talked about it. I was like, oh my God, we should do Horns. I was like, wait, I don't even think that's a horror movie. But then it has the tag, and so I was like, oh, thank God. But again, when I was watching it today, I was like, I'm not scared. It's like a mystery more than anything.
Yeah, I would consider it like a mystery thriller. And while I was watching it, I was like, okay, but we did 7. So I feel like we can do Horns.
Yes, 100%.
Like,
I mean, it's got the tag.
Horns obviously has the tag in it. I just thought it was weird.
We did Rubber.
Rubber is what was it? An independent horror comedy, absurdist horror comedy.
Absurdist is that's quite the word.
This was just like the first time I've really encountered where the book was tagged different than the movie. So like I think dark fantasy fits it a lot better than comedy horror. And I'm surprised they didn't I wonder if they just did the horror aspect because of like the religious demonic side of it.
I wonder if enough people would get scared of that.
Instead of calling it like a fantasy, because I think when you think of fantasy movies, you think of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You don't think of this kind of stuff.
Well, and even like dark fantasy. I think the only thing that I think of when I think of dark fantasy is like Dark Souls.
There's there's a
like
book
Bloodborne.
series. There's another book series that makes me think of dark fantasy, but it's literally like a still high fantasy, just spooky.
Yeah. Which I love. That's my absolute shit right there. But
I love some good fantasy stuff.
I guess to the right person, this movie could definitely be pretty freaky. But like I was telling my mom today about the Evil Dead movies.
Oh yeah.
I was like, if you want to go see the new one with me, watch the first one at least and tell me what you think. Because that's a lot. And then, you know what? After that, go watch the second one. Because if you could sit through that, then maybe.
I haven't seen the remake of the second
Evil
remake.
Dead Rise?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've only seen Evil Dead.
They fucking go for it in that movie, dude.
They're on my list of things I want to watch.
I think they'd be fun to do for the podcast. At least the first one, maybe.
So, this is
Daniel Radcliffe.
the second movie I saw outside of Harry Potter with him.
Yeah.
The first one was Woman in Black.
Yes. Honestly, I'm the exact fucking same. I remember seeing The Woman in Black in theaters and being like, oh my God.
Dude, I loved The Woman in Black. He did
I'd be down to cover it on the podcast.
I'm here for it. That's one that I don't care about the sequel. We can do that
I don't think I ever watched the sequel.
Woman in Black was good. While I was watching this one, I was like, damn, this guy can't get away from shit being wrong with his forehead.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That's so funny.
I didn't do any background research into this movie, I have to say. It's been a hell of a week. I've been catching up on a bunch of house stuff, getting things ready, because I start my new job today. Actually, when this comes out, I will be at my first day at work. And so I had to go clothes shopping because it's business casual and I can't wear jeans. So I had to go buy some chinos.
Nice.
We just did, me and our friend just did my garage, got a bunch of stuff, revamped my desk. I have dual monitors now. Very exciting.
Nice.
So this week has been less podcast focused and more getting my life together focused.
It's okay. We're just going to talk about the movie, walk you through it, and that's going to be it. Nothing too crazy. Just a simple old episode. But I mean, there is a lot of dialogue in this movie, so it's going to be a lot of just jumping from scene to scene to discuss
what goes on.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I do have one semi-fun fact behind the scenes. Daniel Radcliffe accidentally ingested antifreeze and poisoned himself while filming this.
Jesus Christ.
He got sick for 3 days.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, in one of the RVs, one of the trailers, he was either taking a break in or whatever. He drank the tap water out of it, and he's like, nothing said it wasn't potable, but it had antifreeze in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus. Mm-hmm. Also, this movie has little baby Sabrina Carpenter.
It does, yes. I saw that and was like, holy fuck.
I know. I was like, oh my God. She's so young.
I've mentioned it before. I know her. I didn't know she was a singer. I knew her from Girl Meets World. And when I found out that Sabrina Carpenter and the chick from Girl Meets World was the same person, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And so watching this movie now and looking at her, I'm like, oh, you're such a baby.
I know, it's so funny.
And it also has, what's her name? Carrie, what's her name? Gardner.
Who's she?
She's Glenna.
Oh, yes, that's what I was thinking, but I was like,
Yeah, and when she first popped on screen, I looked at her and I was like, Renee Rapp? I was like, that doesn't make sense. Because of like her at the bar, she looks like Renee Rapp.
That's fair.
But no, she's also in this, and it's pretty good. The casting is really well done. The only thing is like his English or his American accent isn't terrible, but it's not great.
It definitely like slips just a couple times, barely.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like if you didn't know that he wasn't English, you'd probably just think nothing of it. But knowing, you're like, oh no, like I can.
Yeah, I tried to like not look at him and be like, would I clock the accent or not?
Yeah, that's funny.
Also, my biggest gripe with this movie.
Grape.
Gripe. Did I say grape?
You said grape.
My biggest gripe with this movie is that, so our main character is Iggy, Ignatius quote unquote, Ig Parrish. Mm-hmm. He is the second born son. His older brother's name is Terry. Who the fuck names their firstborn Terry and then their second son Ignatius? That is, what is this naming convention?
Yeah, I don't fucking know. You maybe like pop Terry out and they're like, well, he's just got a basic name, but he's maybe if we give this kid a fancy name, he'll be like some prodigy or something like, like super, I don't fucking know.
It was weird. That's why, like, it's the one thing that doesn't make sense because I feel like a family who names their kid Ignatius wouldn't also name their other kid something wild.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And Glenna's even like a weird name in my opinion. I've never heard that name before in my life. And then you have Terry.
Yeah. You don't have like Jehovah, Latrinda, and Steve. Like it's not. That's just not how it works.
No. Do you have any opening thoughts before we get into it?
I just feel bad for the man for a lot of this movie. I'm like, damn, you didn't need this, bro. But also, there's some shit in this movie that cracks me the fuck up. So, I mean, the comedy definitely comes through, but we'll get to it.
The cinematography on some of these shots.
Oh, fantastic.
Beautiful.
There's one I'll point out that I really, really liked.
So, we open with this beautiful, wide landscape shot of this river and a densely forested mountain with a male voiceover, who is Daniel Radcliffe.
I want to say they're in Seattle, but like rural Seattle, because all the cars have Washington plates. And it's super fucking rainy. And they're in like a logging town. So.
Washington, like, makes sense.
Yeah.
Washington, Oregon, like, northwest.
Yeah, so we're hanging above like super foresty, looking upon some mountains. And you hear Iggy's voice come in.
Talking about how he was an outsider in the town. Like, everyone forced him to be an outsider. And but that didn't matter because the only one who mattered was her. And then he goes off about how, like, no one is born evil. Sometimes, like, even Satan was once an angel who fell. It has this, like, little monologue and then says, sometimes the only way to get through hell is to walk through the fire. So if the symbolism and the wording isn't slapping you in the face with Catholic ideology, this movie is... also, trigger warning... This has to do with a murder and rape of a woman. Just off the bat, like the instant you start this movie, you hear people yell, like, how could you rape her and stuff like that. So if that's a sensitive topic for you, maybe skip this one.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of snakes. Like snakes. They're not real snakes. No, you can tell they're CGI, really so if that CGI helps. Snakes. But I had to give that trigger warning to my mom because she does not like snakes.
Well, especially at the end with all of the snakes.
Well, I was like, you should watch horns. But remember, they're CGI.
They are CGI snakes, I promise you.
She's like, it's fine. She said she was like watching a different movie or like TV show, and this dude had a house full of snakes, but they were actual snakes. Mm-hmm. She was like, I looked away from the screen.
Just close my eyes for that.
Yeah. But I mean, she's looked at Noodle. She actually thinks Noodle is really cute. Oh. I'm like, oh my God, that's so much progress.
So we zone in on the forest, and then we get this top-down shot of Ignatius Parrish, or Ig, and Juno Temple, who plays Marin, which also, again, Glenna, Marin, Ig.
I thought it was Meryl.
Marin, Merrin.
Huh.
Marin. They are laying on a blanket, like their heads touching, and they're making out a little bit. And she's like, "Are you horny yet?"
He's like, "I'm getting warm," and she's like, "Ugh!" And they start giggling because, like, obviously he's just joking.
And we get this crazy transition that I love, where the camera drops into the ground, and you get the crunch of the gravel and like the sand,
see, like, the dirt and the roots going through the dirt,
and then it's Ig passed out on his floor, but the shot is upside down, so he's on the ceiling with an empty liquor bottle, and it's just, I love that
it's
transition.
So good.
It's just, so again, it's very heavy-handed symbolism, but it's so cool.
Yeah, no, I love it.
He slowly gets up and like stumbles, finding another empty bottle, and then he like finds an empty pack of cigarettes, and then he's walking past his giant record collection on the wall and chooses an album, puts it on the record player, and we get this
"We Could Be Heroes" while he closes his eyes, and then it kind of like fades into this bright, almost like ethereal image of Marin dancing in this kind of silky clothing.
It's like
in the tree house.
It's like a pastel pink like dress.
Yeah.
With these like big bellowing sleeves.
Yeah, and she's like dancing in slow motion, and then it kind of fades back to him, and he's got his eyes closed, and he opens them, and then he looks out the window, and he opens the blinds, and there are reporters and protesters holding signs that say "Murderer,"
"Go to hell,"
"Go to hell,"
"Burn in hell."
And he touches the record so that it slows down and the music gets all warped and the video gets all slow, and like all these people are like slowly rioting. It's great.
It's a really good scene. All I could think of was like, "Oh, your poor record."
I know. Yeah. That's the least of his worries right now.
So he runs outside to his car, and this woman gets up in his face while he's at the door and says, "You should burn in hell you should pray for God to have mercy on your soul." And he's like, "I should pray to the devil to punish who actually did this." One of the reporters says, "There's a new witness. How does he feel about that? Did he set a fire at the lab?" And he doesn't answer any of this. He gets in his car and speeds away. And we get the shot of the cops just watching from across the street this whole thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
The title screen is probably one of my favorites. It's this red glowing circle of multiple circles inside of each other, and then horns like burns into it, and then it gets pulled out, and it's this freaking car cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's sick.
That was cool. And you don't see that very often too. I mean, this movie was made in 2013, and so car cigarette lighters aren't super common then, and I don't even think they exist now.
Yeah. Crazy.
He calls his friend Lee.
13 years old?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Ig goes to his parents' house, parks in front, and yells up at his mom, who's on this, like, this is an immaculate house, and she's up on the second-story balcony with her arms crossed and a shawl, and he's like, "Mom, aren't you happy about me? Or happy for me? Look how famous I am. They follow me everywhere." Which just makes it more fun because her husband is a famous musician, and his older brother is a famous musician, so he's just kind of playing into this narrative, and she's like, "Get inside."
Yeah.
So they all sit at the dining room table, and they're eating breakfast together. His dad's going off on how he can't talk to reporters and he can't admit anything, and Iggy's like, I have nothing to admit to. I didn't speak to anyone, and I didn't do it. And then mom set something down, like got up and sets a bowl of something down and says, "It doesn't matter what happened. All that matters is you are our son." And he gets pissed because he's like, "I didn't kill her." To be fair, like I said earlier, Marin, the one who was murdered and raped, this was his girlfriend. This is the girl from the title screen, or the opening scene type deal.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks he killed her. And now he's like, "Oh, my parents fucking believe I killed her as well." And he even says, "If you think I harmed her at all, then you need to do something about it because I'm a fucking monster." And he walks outside. Terry says he'll handle it. He comes out playing his trumpet.
Trombone.
Trumpet.
Are you sure it's not a trombone?
Trumpets have the 3 buttons. Trombones have the slider.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Dad has a trombone above the piano.
I'm getting confused. I don't know why.
Oh, you didn't call it an oboe. There's that.
Yeah. Guess you're right.
So this is kind of, because I've read the book, kind of a slap in the face when he comes out playing the trumpet, because Ig can't. He has asthma. And so he...
Oh, is that why he's hitting the inhaler as Terry walks out? Wow.
So he tried to play the trumpet, he tried to play the piano, he tried to get into music, and then by the time he wasn't good at the piano, like all this kind of stuff, before he like gave it up, and then before he could get into a new instrument, he found Mirren, and then so all of his free time went to her instead. And so he doesn't have any ill will towards his brother, but he's always like has that like semi-resentment that he couldn't follow in their dad's footsteps as well. So him coming out playing the trumpet beautifully, I'm just like,
you dick.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
But he sits down and they have a little heart-to-heart about how Lee can fix anything. Oh, they also fight at the table about Lee being his lawyer, who's a public defender, and his dad's like, I can afford a good lawyer for you. And he's like, no, they all want me to take a plea deal, and I'm not admitting to it because I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But they go outside. And they talk about how Lee can fix anything, and Lee pops up at that point and sits down and is like, I'm doing my damnedest. Like, on my docket today is to figure out who this witness is and to track down what happened with this lab and yada yada, and lists a bunch of stuff that he needs to do. Our first introduction to Lee, who is a longtime friend as well. We are actually going to revolve around a friend group that has been friends since they were toddlers, it seems like, and Lee, Terry, and Iggy are one part of them. Mirren later joins the friend group, but she moves there when she's like 12 or something, maybe a little older, so she's less of the friend group. But this is our first chunk. Mm-hmm. He then goes to the bar where the bartender Al tries to kick him out, being like, you make my other customers uncomfortable, you should fucking leave. And this is like a dive bar, biker bar, and he looks over at these like tough looking men who just like cheers him with a shot. He's like, I make them uncomfortable, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Glenna comes up, who is another friend from this friend group, shoves Al out of the way, says everyone deserves a drink, especially Ig. Pours him a shot, and then she hits on him.
Yeah. She's like, well, why don't you... Well, I get off at 5. Why don't we go get a drink somewhere else? And he's like, respectfully, I want to drink alone.
So this has changed from the book, and I don't know why. I haven't fully finished the book by the time this comes out. Obviously, I will have, but they're dating at the start of the book.
Who?
Ig and Glenna. They've been together 3 months. They live together.
Weird.
I guess, like...
How does that work?
It's farther in. So the thing with the movie is the missus is farther than I am in the book, and so everything that is happening happens, but in flashback in the book. In the book, we are farther ahead in the story. It's not as fresh.
I see.
So he's been with Glenna, and so then here in a little bit, it makes a whole scene make more sense. And I'll tell you when we start the book, because this is all like prequel flashback stuff in the book.
Interesting.
But I thought it was weird. The only thing I can think of is it's like unconsequential that they live together, so it doesn't really matter how their relationship is, honestly.
Yeah.
That night, Mirren's dad, whose name I don't know.
I don't remember. I looked up the list of actors and saw his name. Dale.
Played by David Morris.
He's a good actor.
Mm-hmm. He is. Dale and the priest, Father Mulder, I believe, hold a candlelight vigil at the base of a tree house where they had found Mirren's body, and he straight up says, I know Ig fucking killed my daughter, and her soul cannot rest until he is behind bars. It goes off on that whole thing. I understand as much as I can, right, as someone who has not lived through this. That's fucking bold-ass claims, because they haven't even gotten a trial yet. It's just town rumor that Ig did it.
Yeah.
I guess in this situation, the spouse or the partner is usually the prime suspect, but he's known Ig since they were children. And his parents think he did it, and it's this whole thing of, what the fuck kind of person are you that everyone in this town believes you did it?
I think it doesn't help that, and you might cut this because it's kind of spoilery, but like what happens, what he says when he's woken up by the cops that morning.
Oh yeah.
They talk about it later. He clarifies for them later, like, no, this is what I meant when I said that. I think that plays into it a bit. Like the cops took that and said,
they ran with it.
yeah. And it just like exploded. But it doesn't help that the cops weren't the only ones spreading rumors. We'll get to that too.
There's layers upon layers.
This movie's fucked up for my boy Daniel. He draws the short straw no, he doesn't even draw the short straw. He just gets treated by shit by a lot of people.
By everyone.
Treated like shit by a lot of people.
As far as we can tell, no actual reason.
Yeah.
I mean, to be they think he murdered Mirren, right? And we'll talk about why everyone thinks he murdered Mirren. We'll get flashbacks of the last night she was seen. He was the last person seen with her and all that kind of stuff. And as a true crime person who listens to true crime and all of that kind of stuff, I am always usually the first person to say it's the spouse. And maybe it's because it's told from his point of view, right? We get it. But it's just, you don't say that until you have the evidence. Like, I'm not going to go around, if a murder happened, I'm not going to be like, oh, yep, it was that person. Like, I don't feel comfortable saying that because if you're wrong, you've just fucked up someone's entire life.
Well, and it's hard, too, because they're in a smaller town where it seems like everyone kind of knows each other. And
kind of. Everyone
Well,
does.
yes, everyone knows each other. That makes it so much worse because not only do rumors spread faster and farther, but
to the game of telephone is worse.
The game of telephone is worse, and you have larger mobs by the end of it rallying behind this one idea that's been passed around so frugally by enough people that, like, it's just, my boy just gets dumped on a lot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he gets a bit of revenge, I'll say that.
Yeah, the overarching theme is that the path to hell is paved in good intentions, honestly. Revenge is bad for your soul.
Yeah.
But
revenge is all consuming.
Mm-hmm. Ig is actually in the treehouse right now, drinking.
Yeah.
And as they're lighting the candles and stuff, he lights his lighter and hides it.
Starts crying. Because he loved her.
And again, we're coming at this, I think because we watched the movie, right, we're coming at this from a different angle. And I've already seen this movie before. I feel like if this was the first time, I'm also reading the book, right? I feel like if this was the first time I was watching it, I'd be more like, this motherfucker probably did it. Like, this is gonna be like, the twist of the movie is gonna be that he did it, right? And that he's actually trying to hide. Like, that would be my thought. But because I watched this and I am reading the book, I'm just like, oh man, poor Ig.
See, even the first time I watched the movie, I didn't think that he did it.
Really?
I remember, like, sitting there being like, oh man, like, this guy's about to go through a lot of shit. But it's like fucking Gone Girl. You wouldn't make this such obvious painting of what this person is so immediately that they like try to shove it in your face so that, you think it's true. Like, I didn't fucking watch Gone Girl, and the whole time I'm sitting here like, he didn't do it.
That's fair.
But I think maybe that's just because, like, after so long, I've been conditioned to think that, oh no, it's not that simple. That's usually not the case. It's usually never that simple in any kind of media.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was going to say, and it's Daniel Radcliffe, how often does he play a villain? But he's the villain in The Lost City.
Oh, that's right. I still have to watch that.
Oh, dude, it's got Sandy B in it. You got to watch it.
I know.
Well, he waits till everyone leaves, comes down the treehouse, and then
he gets real pissed off.
He breaks Mother Mary. He pees on everything. He
pees out some candles.
Yeah. This is also interesting because in the book, he gets mad about, there's a yellow cross with like flowers on it. And that's what he rips down and pees on and destroys because he gets really pissed off that it's a yellow cross.
Interesting.
And there's some backstory there about why it's like she would have not liked this specific aspect of it type deal.
Well, he gets interrupted by Glenna, who's like, dude, you should not be here, bro. Like, people could see you here. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Leave me alone. He's just like all pissed off.
She literally drags him away.
I know, it's so funny though, because he like shambles away and tries to pull his pants up, but he's just like, leave me alone. Like, just so.
She just like bear hugs him from behind. He's like, yep, whatever you say, dear.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So we get a picturesque mountain shot again, and then narration of Ig talking about how the town saw him as a devil, and now he's gonna look like the part, right? This is where the book starts. is he wakes up in bed with the impression of Glenna next to him, but she's not actually there. They've been dating for 3 months, and he has like this wicked wild hangover, can't remember anything, and notices the horns.
Interesting.
So when I started that movie, I was like, what is happening?
A lot of prequel stuff. I mean, I guess for a movie, they have to like establish more, right?
Yeah,
like,
we talk about this all the time where it's you establish what a normal day is like and then you go into the crazy.
Yeah.
And so for however long since Mirren's died, this has been his life, and now we're getting into the thing that changes.
Yeah.
But in this one, he wakes up and Glenn is still there. She rolls over away from him. He gets up to go pee and is like, you see as he rolls over though, these like things protruding from his forehead a little bit, little bumps, and you're like, what the hell? And as he's going, he like goes to pee and he goes to scratch his head and he's like, what the fuck? So he runs over to a mirror. Runs over to a different mirror and is like poking at it, and as he's poking at the other one, it pops out. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He ends up getting dressed and he goes out, and we have Glenna sitting on the couch eating.
She's eating a donut, smoking a cigarette,
watching a cartoon.
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry, but it's
the dog. I don't remember the dog's name.
Yeah, Butch.
I thought his son was named Butch because he gets a little puppy son at some point. It might be Butch though.
I don't remember,
and he's like, he's dressed as the devil, like the red devil with a pot of boiling oil saying, send him down, send him down.
I think it's Tom having a dream about being sent to hell, and the devil is the dog.
Yeah.
Which is so good.
He's drowning Tom in the boiling oil with the pitchfork.
I fucking love those old cartoons, dude.
They were so
Holy
good.
shit. Like old Bugs Bunny especially, like cracked me the fuck up as
Tom
a kid.
and Jerry was my jam.
Oh, I mean, they all, like, Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, fucking Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote, like, all that shit.
I think for me, because Tom and Jerry was silent pretty much, he didn't have, like, too much vocals.
Yeah.
It was the thing I would watch to go to sleep at night. Like, it was on Boomerang.
Yeah.
And so I would put that on and just watch Tom and Jerry to go to bed.
Yeah, 100%. I just like the episode of Looney Tunes when Bugs Bunny is dressed up like the Viking lady doing the opera singing, and it's like the whole episode is the opera. It's just so fucking good. Like that's fucking peak right there.
He walks out of the bathroom finally, and Glenn is like, wow, you sure did take your time in there. How you doing? He's like, how do I look? And she says, what do you mean? He's like, anything different? She's like, oh, the horns, and she does like the horns on her head, and he says some stuff, but she really isn't paying attention.
He's like, what? And you don't, like, you see nothing wrong? And she's like, I want to eat a donut. She's like,
do you think I should?
Do you think I should eat another donut? He's like,
do whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want. She's like, I want to eat. No, she takes her finger and counts every single donut.
All 6.
And she's like, I want to eat all 6 of these donuts.
Do you think it's okay?
Do you think it's okay? And he goes, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. And she grabs a donut, breaks it in half, stuffs the first half in the right side of her mouth and starts chewing. And then like hooks open her cheek and stuffs the other half into her other cheek like a chipmunk.
And then just goes,
starts chewing. And then she makes a sour face and starts nodding her head no. And she looks at him and is just like, mm-mm.
And she grabs a Diet Pepsi 2-liter off the table and washes the donut down with that and said, ugh, I didn't like that.
My stomach hurts now. And he's like, well, why the fuck are you doing? Oh, God, it's just so weird.
She says she wants to get fat that everyone thinks she's trash. And no one will fuck her unless they're blind drunk. And he's like, come on, Glenna, that's not true. No one thinks you're trash. And she says, you only fucked me last night because you were blind drunk, and I know you were thinking of Mirren the entire time. And that's okay. All I need to know is, can I eat these donuts?
And he's like,
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. And so she gets on her knees and shoves her face into the donut box.
It took me a second to catch it, but you can hear him say, do whatever you want, pig out.
Oh, okay.
And then she eats it like a pig.
Love it. I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was so just like, not necessarily shocked, but just baffled by like how quickly it turned around and just like, oh, is this what we're doing? Okay. I wonder where we're going to go with this.
He drives himself to the doctor where he, as soon as he walks up into the waiting room area, there's a child throwing a tantrum and a mom whisper yelling at her.
Yeah, she's like, go over there and sit down, read
Stop
your
it.
book. Stop it, shut up. And meanwhile, this kid is screaming.
Bloody murder, like their throat is gonna be raw tomorrow at the top of a lung shriek.
Yeah.
He goes up to the receptionist and he says, I need the doctor to look at something. And she's like, oh, what, dear? And he takes his hood off and says, these? And she looks at him and says, oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
And it's just the benign reaction is the thing, right?
She's like, I'm going to need you to fill out some forms. And he grabs them and he goes and he sits down next to the mom. And she's still whisper yelling at the kid as the kid starts to like throw books off of a coffee table. And the mom leans over to Iggy and is like, sometimes I just want to kick my daughter in her tiny little ass. And he looks over and he's like, what the fuck?
She's like, do you think I should?
She's like, or even better, I could just leave her here and drive away.
Go start fucking my golf coach again.
Yeah. And then she says something really racist.
The book, it's the actual.
Oh, I mean, the movie's not much better.
No, the movie's not better. So in the book, it's hard R N-word,
Yeah.
followed by the word used in the movie.
Oh,
She uses both.
Jesus. Okay.
Her coach is black,
Yeah.
and she goes off on this whole thing about
calling his dick the 9-iron.
the 5-iron.
The 5-iron.
And how everyone was right, you know, black men are just hung different.
Iggy's just sitting there like, what the fuck? He goes to hand the paperwork back to the girl at the desk, and she leans in and she's like, I just want to tell that lady over there to take her snot-nosed little punk-ass daughter the fuck out of here. And
Does she not have any respect for the rest of us?
Does she not have any respect for the rest of us? And Iggy goes, well, do it then.
Why not? And then
Why
he sits at a chair between them and watches them start screaming at each other because the freaking receptionist says, why don't you... it's
take
something
that
like
little bitch and get the fuck out of here.
And the mom
like
says, what did you just say? She comes back with, I said, why don't you take your pig-ass daughter by her fucking hair and drag her out of here? And mom stands up saying, fuck you! And they're screaming back and forth at each other, and mom slams her hands on the glass partition, separating the two, and Iggy grabs her hand and is like, you don't want to do that in front of your daughter. And he gets flashes of her with the coach, and then fucking the coach, and then as he pulls away from her, she like starts crying. And backs away. And he looks down at the daughter, who looks at him and says, I want to burn mommy all up with matches. Just burn her right up.
Oh my god. Just so insane immediately.
He is taken back to the examiner's office, and the nurse is deadpan staring at him, doing the blood pressure cuff, just...
pumping over and over and over again, to the point where like he looks down and like kind of winces in pain. He's like, I think you can stop now. And she's like, oh, sorry.
I just can't stop thinking about how my boyfriend is cheating on me with this slut down the road, and I just want to go key her car and stick dog poop in her front seat. Or maybe I could just shit in her front seat. Do you think I should? And the doctor walks in, so she takes off the stethoscope, and he looks at him and says, Iggy! Or, what does he say? Ignatius Parrish, what a long time. And he's like, what brings you in today? And he says, I don't know, dude. Like, anything at all look fucking weird to you? He says, oh, besides the horns? What else? He's like, no, the fucking horns. Why aren't you guys freaking out about my horns? If I saw a guy with horns, I'd be pissing down my leg. And he's like, I don't know, kind of forget it. As soon as you look away, it's just really not remarkable.
Yeah.
Iggy asks him, like, are they cancerous? What's going on? He pokes at them, asks if they're sensitive. They are very sensitive. They hurt like hell, and the doctor laughs. Because, you know, horns, hell, huh. And he says, you know what I really want? Is to snort some oxycodone right now.
Why don't I just crush some up? We can hide together right now. He's like, no, I need you to fucking fix this shit.
And then he talks about how he wants to fuck his daughter's friend Nancy.
I just remember, like, I forgot that he said that line, so I'm watching it this morning, and I'm just like, oh, holy fuck.
But
okay.
The way he says it is, I want her sweet ass. And that just, the level of ick
Gross.
I get from that.
Yeah. Oh, God.
He keeps getting distracted by his nurse's tits as well. He'll, like, look over and just can't focus. And he says something else, and Iggy says, I need you to focus on my problem. And he says, you fucking patients. All you care about are your goddamn selves. Iggy then tells him to just saw the horns off. So the next shot is him laying on the operation table, and he's fully dressed, by the way, which I think is weird.
Yeah.
Because usually when you put on a gown, you take stuff off, but he's fully dressed underneath the gown. They give him
like, are you sure this is going to work? And the doctor's like, actually, no, not at all. But it's going to be fun to try. And then they put the fucking mask on him to put him out. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And you get the zoom in shot of Ig from up above, and you see him kind of slowly just pass out due to the gas. And we get flashbacks of him meeting. I'm sorry. We get
Marin.
They're at that church.
Yeah.
So it is the first time they meet. They're reading their hymns, and she's blinding him with her gold cross. And
like flashing a little beam of light at his eyes.
And he asks Terry, what is she doing? And his dad leans over and says, it's Morse code. She's trying to tell you to not check out her legs in church and pay attention. And grabs his head and like shoves it back in the hymn book. Mm-hmm. He then like still glances at her.
Young Marin is the played by Sabrina Carpenter. But a young Sabrina Carpenter, like little baby.
Little baby. This came out in 2013.
I was going to say, she would have been 14.
Yeah.
Wild.
At the end of church, she's not sitting there any longer, and he finds her cross necklace broken, and he picks it up. We then get a shot after church of Terry, Ig, Lee, Glenna, and this new character we're introduced to, Eric, who they call Meatbag. They are blowing up shit with cherry bombs, which I get. This was me and my cousins would blow shit up in the snow with different types of fireworks. Glenna, after they blow up a few things, Glenna asks them what's so great about this girl, because Ig brings her up again and how he needs to learn Morse code, and Lee also says like she's really pretty. Glenna flips her hair and says, what's even so good about her? It's like you guys have never seen a girl before. And they all kind of nervously chuckle before they go to blow up a turkey this time. So they blow up a baby doll, a stuffed animal, a watermelon, a turkey. I think those are all the 4 things we see. They have a few things in a shopping cart that they like take down. So they put the cherry bomb in the turkey, and someone says, oh, spread her legs, and it's just they throw it. They've been smart about this, I'm not gonna lie. They throw it in the cherry bomb. They have it set on an oil, like not an oil tanker, but like, you know, the barrels, like the burn barrel type things. Oil drum, thank you. And they run and hide behind something when it blows up. Mm-hmm. This is where they stop being smart, because it doesn't go off. And Eric looks at Terry saying, oh, something must have happened. Give me the lighter again. I'll go check it out. And he gets like 4 feet away from it when it explodes, and he gets covered in turkey bits. And they're like, oh, damn, now you're a literal meatbag.
Yeah, my first thought is like, raw bird all over you. Like, that's just...
Salmonella.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like the 90s.
Oh, when salmonella didn't exist?
When no one talked about it. You don't think about it. In my head, I was like,
but people still died from it. They just didn't talk about it because they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I should probably say that into the microphone.
In my head, I was like, how expensive was that turkey? Where did you guys get that from? Whose mom did you steal a turkey from?
Yeah, this would have been like the 90s. Turkeys probably weren't that expensive.
I don't know.
Or they could have, you know, like, you could go to the local grocery store and go to the dumpster out back and see what they've thrown away for the day.
Possibly.
Find yourself a turkey and a watermelon and
baby dolls.
Whatever the fuck. I don't know.
They have 1 cherry bomb left, and Glenna wants to know what they're going to blow up next. Eric says he's saving his cherry for something special. Oh, I didn't mention this because obviously I didn't write it in my notes. Eric is homophobic as fuck. Anytime he can, he uses the F slur. He calls them homos, all of that kind of stuff. Any chance he gets to use a gay slur, he uses it.
Yeah.
I think
we just don't talk about it.
I think we talked about this in a different one, though, where I was like, I don't know if I can say.
I mean,
I don't see it as a slur, but I know a lot of people do. Like, it's a reclamation thing.
Yeah, I think for me, it's easier to just be like, I'm not going to say it instead of wondering whether it's okay for me to say it or not.
Eric says the only way he's giving up his cherry is if someone takes that shopping cart down the log slide. Because he uses the F slur again. One of you can take that shopping cart and ride it down the log slide. And Ig says, I'll do it. And then he caveats with naked. And Ig gets up in his face saying, I'll do it. And everyone besides Eric tries to talk him out of it. Glenn is like, what are you doing? Terry says, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
The next shot, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it looks like a water slide into a river. It's where they roll logs or split them in this case, because if the tire he hits at the end is to cover the blade, I believe.
Yeah.
It's just like a big water slide that does not have water on it, and it's made out of metal, and at the end of it is a bunch of water still full of logs. This is not smart for many reasons, especially not naked.
Yeah.
So he gets up there and he strips off everything but his tighty whities and his sneakers.
Yeah.
Terry's pissed because he says, Mom's gonna kill me if you get hurt. And he inches his way and Glenna slaps Lee's shoulder and says, I can't watch, and turns around as he careens down, and halfway down he says, oh fuck, and launches off, landing in the water. He hits his head on a log or something and scratches it. Again, this man, I mean, it's not Daniel Radcliffe, obviously. This is another actor playing baby him, but like still his forehead shit, man. Mm-hmm. Gets cut on the forehead. He's bleeding into the water, and all I could think of was, damn, the infection. And then the logs start moving above him and close off his escape route. It's like getting trapped under ice. You don't have enough power to break the ice or move the logs, and he drowns. He can't squeeze between the logs. Terry, what a great big brother he is, stays on shore just saying, oh my god, with Glenna. It's Lee who eventually jumps in fully clothed and saves Ig, pulls him out onto the shore, and frickin' Eric's first words are, did you two homos do mouth to mouth?
Yeah.
And Lee says, shut the fuck up.
Iggy like wakes up, gets up, and he's like, give me my cherry bomb. And Eric's like, no, you didn't do it naked. You had your underwear and your shoes on. And everyone's like, bro, fucking give it to him. And Terry like walks up and rips the box out of Eric's hand and like takes the cherry bomb out and tosses it to Iggy.
Later, they're in Lee's like garage, and he is actually fixing the cross.
Oh, we forgot to mention that as Iggy and them are leaving church, like as kids before, he like sees her cross laying on the floor.
No, I mentioned that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I must have fucking zoned. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, the cross was broken on the pew she was sitting at.
Okay, yeah, that's my bad.
In Lee's garage, so Lee can fix the cross because Ig doesn't know how to. And honestly, the clasp is just broken. It just needs to be bent back into place, I'm pretty sure. They're talking about Mirren and how she's different from Glenna, who gives
Mirren?
Yeah. They're talking about Mirren.
I don't. Well, I just, sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of you at all. I hear Mirren and I think of like Shaoxing cooking wine or like.
Yeah, no, it sounds like Mirren.
But it's like.
It's Mirren.
It's like Marin, I think.
It's Mirren.
It's not Marin?
It's Mirren. They're both Mirren. Trust me, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I think I have some in my cabinet.
I could have swore it was Marin. Because it made me think of Meryl Streep.
I'm pretty sure it's Mirren.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
They are talking about how she's different from Glenna because Glenna gives hand jobs to Eric and Terry so they'll like her.
Which is gross.
Lee also calls her trash.
I'm not saying that's gross. He said that it's gross.
Yes.
Least girl can suck off whoever she wants. Like, don't slut shame, all right?
Oh, except she's like 15.
Well, yes.
Don't slut shame her, but hey.
I don't condone listen, man.
Going forward.
Yeah, you know it's fine. I'm not saying whatever.
Lee says he should actually be the one to give the necklace to Mirren because he's the one who fixed it, and Ig screams no, and he's like, okay, well, what are you going to give me for it? And he gives Lee the cherry bomb. Mm-hmm. He goes home and starts studying Morse code, which I've always been interested in, but there's so much, and Yes was like this long of a freaking word.
To me, it's all just too similar that I feel like it just like blend together too much in my head.
I feel that.
Like, I feel like learning Japanese is easier because it's each word is its own thing, you know?
Yeah.
But like, there's only so many things you can do with a dot and a dash.
Dot dash dot dot dot.
But,
And it's like having to count too. Like I'm dyslexic, man. That's not gonna help me.
yeah, I'm gonna lose track. Like after maybe the 10th line, not even line, 10th
Dot dash.
dot dash. I'll just be like, hold on, I gotta start over.
Redo, please. The next time at church, he finds her and like holds up the cross, and she says like, I'm happy it was you, or like, oh, I'm glad you found it, and then has him clasp it on her, and they go for a walk on the church grounds, which we find out that her mom died last year of cancer, and that's why they moved to this town, and she doesn't want to talk about it, Ig, so stop asking. What else? Oh, they try to have another conversation, but Terry comes running up asking Ig if he gave Lee the cherry bomb because it exploded in his hand. And the next shot is Lee screaming on a gurney, missing his middle and ring finger on his left hand, and just like screaming in fucking pain in the hospital. Terry and I hit my mic. Terry.
It's okay. I do that like once an episode.
Terry and Ig meet with Glenna and Eric in the waiting room, and then they can go back to see Lee, who makes a joke of, hey, at least I still have 8 fingers, and Glenna like hits his shoulder lightly and says, laughs or chuckles or whatever. Terry's only concerned with Lee not telling their mom that Ig is the one who gave him the cherry bomb, and Lee says, don't worry about it, I've got it all handled. He looks out his window.
Handled? Sorry.
Handled. I did the same thing when you said something about barely in Obsession. It was like, barely.
Barely.
Lee looks out the window outside of his room and says, at least one good thing came out of this, and he makes eye contact with Marin. Which, he's already said it, he also has a crush on her, so is this gonna be like a love triangle situation? Later, Ig takes her to the forest, takes Marin to the forest to show her the treehouse. He says this is where he goes to be alone, and she says this, oh, now I know how to find you. Terry comes riding up on his bike and kind of looks disapproving and rides away. He shows her the hidden hatch where they keep blankets, and it has like a padlock on it, and you can hide whatever you want in there. He then says, I lied to you. Lee's the one who fixed your necklace. If I didn't give him the cherry bomb, it's all my fault. And she says, do you think you traded your cherry bomb for me? That's not how this works. That's not how that works at all. Like, I wanted you to find it.
Yeah.
I like you. And then they kiss, and you get this revolving scene where they age up a little bit, and the next scene is them being the age Ig is at the start, and her in that the like pastel pink flowing dress dancing around, and he's got his shirt all unbuttoned and his pants unbuttoned, and they definitely just did fuck. And they about to fuck again. And my guy, I'm not an exhibitionist. I could not. This is a dilapidated treehouse. Anyone walking by can see your bare ass, and then they fuck on the tree that is coming through the treehouse, and it's covered in moss, and like her butt's all up in there. She's gonna be covered in moss. She's getting splinters. You kidding me?
Yeah, she getting mossy cheeks.
For swamp ass.
Yeah.
So back to present time. Iggy wakes up with the saw embedded in his horn, still on the operating table, and you still hear sex moans, and he looks over, and the doctor and nurse are sitting on like the little swivel chair fucking. She's completely naked. He's grabbing her boobs, and I got a little distracted, and I asked, and you said it was okay, and he said, I was under anesthetic, how could I consent? And he's like, there's a little nod of your head or something. It has to pull out the saw from his horn, and it's painful, and there is blood on the saw, so these have blood flow. These are a part of him. Like, that has to fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, they're also taking hits of the laughing gas while they're fucking. He drives to the church to talk to the father, and this is my biggest gripe from the difference of the book. Because the father in the book is like a jacked, retired hockey player.
Mm-hmm.
And they make him such a wimpy old man that as soon as Ig comes up on him on the churchyard, he scrambles away, like, scared out of his mind.
Yeah.
Ig's father tells him that he's, again, talks about how, you know, Satan was or Lucifer was an angel who fell, and how he was cursed to slither on the ground as a snake. There's no hope for him. He did this to himself for killing that poor innocent girl. And he's like, there's really nothing you can do for me. And the father comes back with, well, there's some rope in that shed back there. I could take you to the tree where Marin died and tie you up. Or you could do the decent thing and do it yourself.
Yeah. Crazy thing for a priest to say, by the way.
Yeah, especially because they're Catholic.
Yeah.
That's like a huge sin in Catholic religion, to murder yourself. He then meets Lee at the docks, where Lee is the first person to not see or react to the horns. He thinks that Ig has been hanging out with Terry and took too many drugs, and he's been under a lot of stress, and he's going a little cuckoo. And Ig comes to the conclusion that it must not work on honestly good people. Like, it must be something that just affects bad people.
Yeah.
He then says, if I'm crazy enough to imagine horns, if I'm crazy drunk and blacked out enough to imagine horns, then I was definitely crazy drunk enough that I could have killed Mirren. Isn't that right? It cuts from that to where him driving back to his parents' house, where he walks up to his mom's room, who she can also see the horns. She hugs him and he's like, I just didn't know where else to go. And she says, why couldn't you have gone anywhere else?
I hate this scene.
Oh, dude, it's so rough.
It's so painful. Because she's like, I wish you'd just gone anywhere else. And he's like, what? And she's like, I just
don't want to see you. It makes me unhappy.
Yeah.
I want to hold my breath until you disappear. I will just want to sing la 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 anytime I see you.
Until you disappear. Like, what? This is your mother, dude.
It's weird, though, because she says all of this and, like, hugs him multiple times. So it's this weird contradiction of her hugging him, like, maternally, saying, so you'll go away? I don't want you to be my son anymore. So he goes downstairs, and his dad is playing piano. Dad also sees the horns, and he says, Dad, I'm going to cut to the chase. Like, this is where you tell me something awful you've been hiding. His dad says, I don't know what happened to you. It was easy with your brother. We could play music together. Again, this is just like a slight jab that Ig couldn't, like, physically cannot play music, or at least the trumpet or trombone like his dad. He talks about how him and Terry could always bond over music, and he doesn't know why Ig turned out this way. And Ig says, well, that's not the worst thing, thanks. And then he goes off on talking about how he loved Mirren in a way, and that was his favorite part about Ig was her.
So fucked up. And
then he admits that he does not believe that Ig is innocent. He straight up believes that the world is coming for his son and that he is supposed to stand up, and he's the person who got the lab to be burned down, and it's the lab where they're testing all of the DNA and shit from Mirren that would have proved him innocent, is what he's saying. He's like, no, like, I burned it down. I'm always looking out for you. I did this for you. I'm helping you get away with murder. And Ig's like, you've never believed that I couldn't do it. I loved her so much. Oh, the dad also says, I've never loved anything like you loved her. Wild. Because you're telling that to your son and your wife's upstairs. Yeah. Okay. Ig says, if you know I loved her this much, how could I kill her? And he comes back with, you loved her so much and lost her. That's why you killed her.
Mm-hmm.
He calls Lee to tell him about the fire. And Lee says, hypothetically speaking, if I knew anything about that, I would have to tell the cops. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Mm-hmm. So you're also getting the hints that Lee also doesn't believe him, but is just saying, like, you're my best friend. Of course I believe you, much like his family was lying to him.
Yeah.
Ig's new plan is to find out who actually murdered Mirren and to make them confess. And Lee's like, how are you going to do that? And he says, I've been oddly persuasive recently. As he looks in his rearview mirror, and there are there's a car and then 2 newscast vans following him. I don't know if the car is meant to be following him, but the news vans are. He parks across the street from the bar, and all of the newscasters descend upon him saying, oh, you're finally looking the part of the devil you actually are. You got to confess to me. It'll get me off of late night TV, all this kind of stuff. And he's like, how about y'all beat the shit out of each other, and whoever wins gets an exclusive interview with me. And so they do. And so you
immediately, oh, the news
it's like
reporters,
SmackDown, man.
yeah, like fucking metal music starts playing and they just start beating the shit out of each other. I was talking about this bit to Brandon and Tyler and a couple other people earlier, and they were like, is that a reference to Anchorman? I was like, oh my god, is it?
When did Anchorman come out? 2010?
Well, that was my question. Is I think Anchorman came out before Horns, right? So, like, no joke, that could actually
Oh,
be...
yeah.
That
2004.
that could actually be, like, a sort of... a reference of sorts, maybe.
It could be. I mean,
I just think it's so good, dude.
It's a good bit. Speaking of bits, we found out that the hat growing bigger every time you see a cop is from Scary Movie 3. So I didn't come up with that bit. Well, we still haven't tracked down the ice cream stomping bit.
Yeah, we don't know if that's a bit yet or not.
Everyone search for me. Figure out where it happened, or if I'm just amazing.
I think I'm getting more and more convinced that you came up with that bit, and I think that is fantastic.
Thank you. He goes into the same bar where Al is behind the bar, behind the bar, saying, "I thought I told you I didn't want you in here anymore." Pulls out a bat and just smashes it against the counter, knocks over a thing of glass, and he says, "Calm the fuck down. You don't want to be arrested. You know you want my money." Al says, "What I really want to do is burn this place down and then collect the insurance money." And he's like, "Okay, well, can you do it later?" And he sets some money down. He looks around the bar and says, "I need anyone who knows anything about her murder to tell me now." The whole bar goes silent. Al says something else at this point, and then the guy playing pool says, "I've been unemployed for the last 3 months and I really understand murdering someone," and then breaks the pool cue in half twice. And then another guy stands up and says, "I want to show my dick to people all of the time," and he just drops his pants and flashes the entire bar saying, "I want this all of the time."
Yeah, and you see straight up dick.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, my wife and I, with the release of season 3 of House of the Dragons, started rewatching Game of Thrones. And in the first season, there's a lot of nudity. Mm-hmm. And so overall today, between Horns and like 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, I've seen a lot of dick.
You know what? It's high time that you guys have to be flashed as much as our tits have to be flashed.
Honestly, you know, like I don't hate it most of the time, except I don't know.
Al pulls out lighter fluid, lights the bar top,
starts spraying the fucking bar top,
lights it on fire. Then the guy sitting at the bar says, my cousin's a cop, and I know that the new witness is the waitress from that diner that saw you guys last." And he says thank you to him. And then Al throws a Molotov cocktail in the middle of the bar. And I love this shot because of how over the top it is. He walks out of the bar, and because of everything catching on fire, the smoke billows around him as he exits with these, like, because his horns have been growing this entire time, and he's got, like, a nicer set of horns now. They're not all, like, stubby, and they look like real horns.
He's just adopted it at this point, too. Like, he's just locked in at this point. So it's not like full slow-mo, but it's a bit slower when he like walks out and all the smoke comes out with him, and it's just so fucking good.
He walks to his car and one of the news anchors is, "What about my interview? What about my exclusive?"
He slow walks to the car and the fucking reporters are still beating the fuck out of each other in the parking lot.
One of the women like has a chokehold on this guy and is like, "My interview, my exclusive, what about it?" And he just drives away.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, in his car, he goes to pick he opens his glove compartment for a pack of cigarettes, and then you see an engagement ring box. And it's very interesting because it's a snake. It's a gold snake wrapped around itself as a ring, and we get a flashback to him, Lee, and Terry at, it looks like an antique store, looking at the ring, and he's telling them, "Okay, you guys show up at the diner at like 9. By that time, I should have done the deed, and we can celebrate." Terry says, "Oh, do you want me to bring some uppers?" And he says, "No, I think we should be happy as is. We don't need any." He says, I'm a musician. We always need them." And he's like, "Good for you, dude." And Lee says, "I'm a worker of the state. I get random drug testing, so I will also be out."
Yeah.
He drives in the rain to the diner where he says hi to a waitress and the owner. He kisses Mirren as he sits down, and he asks what's wrong because she's like glossy-eyed, sorry, and just does not look okay. She pulls away from his hand as he tries to reach out to her, and she's breaking up with him.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it. I'm moving to California. And at first he's like, oh, well, that's great. You know, I can take a leave from work. I've been wanting to go do some exploring. And she's like, no, not like that. She's like, how many people have you been with? And he's like, well, you know the answer to that. She's like, exactly. That's not normal.
No one does that.
Which, that's not true.
Like, do
Bro,
whatever you want to do, man.
2 of our closest friends did that.
Yeah.
And they have 2 kids. And they're happily married together.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it does happen.
They've been together longer than they have been without each other.
Yes, yeah.
They got together when Ashton was 15.
Yeah.
And he turned 30 this year.
So proud of them.
Mm-hmm. They're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
She also goes off on this thing, and if you pay attention to her wording, it's very interesting. Because she says, you deserve better. You need to figure out what you want in life and go explore. You need this.
Yeah.
And it feels very, when someone doesn't want to break up with you type way, you know, where they're like, oh, I'm just not good enough for you. Like, you deserve better than me.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's looking at him saying this stuff with, like, tears in her eyes, you're just staring at her like, what are you doing? What is happening? And then she finally says, I'm just not in love with you anymore. And he says, who are you seeing? How many other people are there? How far have you guys gone? Have you fucked?
He starts getting mad, and the camera gets closer to his face. And when it's like really close to his face, when he's like angry, there's like the light of the red neon sign from the diner shining and like giving this silhouette on his face that just like, the cinematography, it just fucking adds to it.
At this point, he's yelling too, and so the entire tiny diner is staring at him yell, and so he drops his voice and does he also says, she asks why he wants to know, and he says, it will make it easier for me to hate you if I know everything. And then he does a 180 and says, I'll be lost without you. And she says, I'm just not in love with you, and she gets up, and he stands with her, grabbing her arm, and she just says, please, please, and he lets her go. She walks away. The owner and waitress come up to him saying, you and your wife need to leave. And he says, that's not my wife, that's someone I used to fuck. And slams money down on the table, leaves the diner and goes to his car. Oh, he runs into Terry as he's leaving. He like bumps into Terry and Terry asks what's going on.
Yeah, he drives the fuck off. And then Marin like walks outside and Terry's like, dude, what the fuck happened? And she just looks so upset.
The next day, Ig is passed out in his car again at this. I call like the old logging site is where they hung out as kids, and that's where they go as adults.
Yeah.
And he parks his car there. He's passed out. These cops pull up, and it's Meatbag, Eric, and his partner, Schwartz or Schlutz or it's got an S and an L and a U, a Z in there. I don't remember his name.
We'll call him Schlutz.
Schlutz.
Schlutz. I love Schlutz.
I have the wiki open. I could look.
Just...
So the next day, Iggy's passed out, and we keep calling him Iggy. Like, one person calls him Iggy, and I just keep thinking of Iggy from the Maximum Ride series.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's a book series. I think they made like 2 movies out of it or something. But Iggy's a character in that, and I just keep thinking of Iggy anytime we talk about Ig.
It is funny because he is referred to more as Ig than Iggy.
Iggy just sounds better than Ig. Ig's hard for me to say. Like, Iggy's easier.
Ig.
Ig.
I could wake up in the morning, cook bacon and egg.
Ig.
Sorry. It's just one of those days.
Eric knocks on his window, asks him what does he say? Were you with Mirren last night?
When's the last time you saw her or something?
Yeah, and he asks what happened. The partner says,
how do you know something happened?
That is the dumbest fucking question, because if cops are coming up to you asking you about a person, you're gonna assume something is wrong with the person.
If a cop came up to you and said, when's the last time you'd seen this person? You'd be like, oh my God, are they dead?
Like, I feel like this is a total normal reaction.
Exactly.
He then holds his head in his hand saying, whatever happens to her, whatever happened is my fault, it's all my fault. And so Eric takes this as a confession. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but we're going to say this. Anytime we talk about a confession, this is the confession they're talking about.
Him being like, oh my God, it's all my fault. Which, it's very easy as the viewer to watch what just happened and then take what he said as, oh my God, I left her there by herself.
Mm-hmm. If I would have stayed,
then it wouldn't have happened. Exactly. Yeah.
But giving context from Eric's point of view, he's taking it as a confession. I think he's blowing it out of proportion, but like, whatever. Present day, it goes back to the diner to talk to the waitress. He confronts her about what she said, which is she told the cops or told someone that she saw Ig drag Mirren out of the parking lot.
Yeah, and like into his car violently.
So what she says now with the horns activated, that
she's like, are you lying to the cops about what you saw that night? And she's like, yep.
Absolutely.
And I don't even feel bad about it because
I want to be the star witness. Aren't I pretty enough to be on TV?
Oh my fucking God. Insane.
Yeah, she said, what was her story? That Marin forgot her jacket, so the waitress followed her outside. She heard Iggy scream, I'm gonna kill you, and then drag Marin into his car and drive off with her. And then she tells customers even worse things, that he murdered her and then fucked her in the ass, and she's like, they get a kick out of it when I say those kinds of things. Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me?
Again, Ig just gets the fucking brunt end consistently throughout this movie. Mostly for no reason at all.
There is nothing to pinpoint him being like mean to anybody or being an asshole. Like this entire movie, he just seems like your run-of-the-mill guy and everyone hates him.
Yeah. Or just does not give two fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Ig goes to the bar his brother is playing at, because again, his brother's a trumpet musician playing not the blues, but
jazz.
Jazz, thank you. I almost said scat, and I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Look, man, it's that kind of day, okay?
Yeah.
He watches his brother play for a little bit and then goes up to the bar. Every time he's at a bar, he's taking shots, by the way. He takes another shot. Glenna appears, and she sits next to him, hitting on him a little bit, says, oh, I ate something weird this morning. And he's like, yeah, I was there. And she says, you mean last night? And he says, you don't remember anything from this morning? And she just shrugs, saying, I must have been really drunk this morning. So you're getting these hints about the things that happen with the horns. People aren't remembering them. They have a blank spot in their memory about it. She then asks if he will let her suck his dick in the men's room because it'll make him feel better. And she runs her fingers along his horn.
She's like, no.
She then says, I've always been in love with you since we were kids. But I think you kind of knew that. And he shrugs, saying, yeah, I think I kind of knew that too. She then wishes she could just leave this town and get away from it all. But he's stopping her because she loves him so much.
He's like, what? No, you need to go out, do something for yourself for once.
Put this shitty town in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, never look back. And how sweet of this boy. That's the right way to use your powers, I think, because
he does
most of the sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
I was just gonna say, most of the time, people don't change. People don't listen, no matter how many times you tell them something, until they either learn the hard way or come to that conclusion themselves. But in this case, I can appreciate that he's like, I know you. I've known you for long enough. You need to get the fuck out.
Go away.
For your own
do
sake.
Something.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is that he did this with another person in the book. So the father has a nun or a sister that also is at the church. And she also says, I want to get out of this town. These lesbian rumors are ruining my life. I don't want to be here. And he tells her, then just leave. And so, but he has her rob the church. So all of the donations and everything she takes. And then she says, I don't know about, I don't want to take my car. I don't have a car, but I'm scared to take the church's vehicle. And he says, you just robbed the church. I think a car is the least of your worries.
Jesus. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, as I finished the book, I'm very excited to talk about it in book club yesterday.
Yeah.
He goes outside to smoke and sees a snake moving through the grass. Terry comes out and they talk about what happened. Terry also has a very violent reaction to the horns, and literally he's the first person to recoil. And he's like, oh my god, are those fucking horns? And he's like, yeah, whatever, like, and relays some stuff to him. Terry then says, or he talks about how the waitress is lying about him dragging her away, and Terry says, yeah, I know, she left the diner with me. And so we learn the truth from Terry's POV.
Well, first Egg grabs him and like throws him into a lamppost and is like, what the fuck did you just say?
Beats the shit.
It starts punching the fuck out of him, slams him against the hood of his car, and then like touches him so he like sees Terry's memories. And then we get a flashback to Terry driving with Marin.
Drinking as well. He's
drinking at the wheel.
He's got a bag wrapped around a beer bottle or a 40 or something.
Typical brown bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's crying. He asks if she wants to do some uppers to make herself feel better, and she says, no, I really don't want to. And then he gently touches her cheek and says, you're so beautiful. And she says, pull over the car, I want to get out. And like opens the door while he's moving, and he tries to apologize for being weird, and he finally pulls out and she books it into the forest, and she says, thank you for the ride, slams the door, runs off into the forest. He gets out after her, saying he'll wait for her, and he gets back in his car and then passes out. And then when he wakes up,
there is a bloody rock in the passenger seat, and
his hand is all bloody.
Yep, and he's got blood on his shirt. And he's like, what the fuck? And he gets out of the car and starts calling for Marin, walks into the woods and comes upon the tree house. And Marin is laying there dead and contorted, like half on a rock.
Head bashed in,
pale and blue.
And she was already really pale. She's a redhead.
Yeah, but like the
dead pale.
Yeah.
Terry wraps the rock in his shirt and goes to the dock and chucks it into the lake, and just has his cardigan on him in the chill. Ig pulls off of him, and Terry says, I didn't kill her. I swear I didn't kill her. And Ig says, if you didn't kill her, who did? There's been a small crowd gathering outside the bar, and the cops have been called. Eric and his partners pull up saying this bar is across county lines, so they actually have a reason to pull him in, because he thought they were just pulling him in for fighting with his brother. Terry tries to clear that up, but he's across county lines, and you can't, when you're being charged with murder, you can't cross county lines. You have to stay in the county.
Yeah.
So they take him in for that. And they have this whole dialogue, too, about how Eric wants to plant something on him, get him locked away forever. He wants him punished. He wants Ig to put up some resistance so he has a reason to beat him up. And then his friend, his partner, is like, yeah, that'll give me something to whack off to later. Let me see it.
But then he's like, but I'm going to be thinking about you naked. And then Eric looks over and he's like, I like to think about you naked, too, Schlitz.
In the morning, he gets pulled out of jail by Lee, and he passes Eric and Schlutz, and they say something about Lee being able to pull him out now, but he won't be able to keep him out of jail forever. Lee says, are you threatening my client? And there's this whole thing. They walk to Lee's car, and Ig notices that Lee is wearing Marin's necklace. And he says, this is my necklace. What do you mean? And he's like, do you think I'm an idiot? I know what her cross necklace looks like. Why are you wearing it? And then there's this whole dialogue about how Lee is the person that Marin had fallen in love with, and it's been happening for a few months, and she gave him the cross, and neither of them wanted to hurt him, and then he runs away from it, this situation.
This would piss me the fuck off too, though. Bro, that's like one of your best friends. At this point, that level of betrayal is like sorely felt. There's so many levels of hurt that like travel through people in an experience like that. It's just not.
Especially when you're like, we didn't want to hurt you. This is the worst way you can hurt him.
Yeah, or we someone. If you say we didn't want to hurt you, that doesn't matter because you did the thing anyways. If you didn't want to hurt someone, you wouldn't do the thing. It's that simple.
Literally that simple. Lee also mentioned something about there are things about Mirren you didn't know. And that, like, drives him a little crazy. We see him in his car later screaming, and we get these flashbacks of them growing up and, like, hanging out all together as a trio and having all of these fantastic, like, little trio moments.
It's Egg essentially rethinking all of his memories of them hanging out together and, like...
Was she looking at him different?
Yeah, when his back was turned, was her and Lee, or were her and Lee, like...
flirting or making
like,
eyes.
doing shit behind his back. That, yeah. Not fucking cool.
He drives out to Mirren's dad's house, Dale, where this dog will not stop barking at him. There is another snake in a tree. Ig knocks on the door, and Dale pops out from behind him with a shotgun pointed at him, saying he'll kill, like, I will kill you, like, what the fuck, what gives you the right to come here? You killed my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And Ig says, if you wanted to kill me, I would already be dead. I bring out the worst in people right now. So you don't want to kill me. And he's trying to ask Dale if Mirren was actually seeing Lee, because the only person who would actually know is Dale. That is the only person Mirren would have trusted with that information.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets up in his face saying, I don't owe you shit. Why would I tell you if my daughter was unfaithful to you? You murdered her. Again, going off on this and saying, if you don't get off my porch, I will shoot you. And kicks him off and, like, says, don't come around here again. Dale wishes him to die scared and alone just like her. Which, fair. As he's driving, he has to slam on his brakes because another snake comes into view and crosses his path on the road, which is a superstition in my family. That's bad luck. You do not cross a snake on the road. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a snake on the road specifically, like while I was driving.
In our property in New Mexico where my great-grandmother used to live.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it was like houses every few acres, and so it was really spread out and really densely packed with forest. There was a lot of snakes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
He drives to, like, an abandoned factory, or maybe it's the abandoned, like, logging area again, and is being a literal goat by bashing his head into a wall trying to break the horns off.
Yeah, bashes his head into this concrete wall a couple times, and then he angles his head so that the point of his horn is digging into the concrete, and he, like, scrapes it along.
And it just cuts into the concrete.
And it cuts into the concrete, doesn't fuck up the horn at all. He then hooks the horn on a piece of rebar sticking out of this concrete and bends the rebar with the horn. But, like, the horn's not moving, and like, these things are just impenetrable.
The thing that sucks, though, is we learned from the Saw that he feels this. He's actively just beating the shit out of himself right now.
I will say, and this is not an excuse for you to just be violent against yourself during times of extreme duress, but when you're so emotionally charged, especially angry, you don't feel it.
No, I get that. I have a heavy bag for a reason.
I'm not an angry man, but I've had my moments in the past where I've snapped. One of those included, I'm pretty sure, fracturing my knuckle because I punched something so hard. But, like, I didn't even realize how fucked up my knuckles were until the next day because I was just, like, so irate.
Totally get it. Especially, I would freak out if I had horns growing out of my head, and I would try everything to remove them, right? Like,
well,
I
you can't
understand.
even, like, talk to people. Like, anytime you talk to someone, they're just spilling out fucked up weird secrets that you don't want to know.
Yeah, their deepest thoughts and desires and just shit you wish
can't just be
didn't.
like, hey man, like, I feel like shit right now. Can you talk with me?
And he can't even talk to Lee, who's the only person who's unaffected by this, because Lee now thinks he's just high or crazy.
Yeah.
There are snakes.
Oh god, sorry.
Nope, I was waiting.
Oh, that sucks.
What happened?
It just turned into the intense burn and went away.
Oh.
My allergies have been killing me. It's because all this dust.
Yeah, no, I felt that too.
I take daily allergy meds, and we started the episode today, and I was, like, crying. Like, tears were streaming down my face.
No, it's been bad. The weather has been terrible for allergies. So snakes surround Egg, and he grabs a pitchfork that's just here.
yeah, like a really, really old-timey, like 3-tined pitchfork.
It's like the hay pitchforks.
Yeah.
In this weird...
But like a medieval hay pitchfork.
Yeah, it's like really... The handle is all wood and like splintered and rotted, and it's just...
It's literally just like
metal.
3 circular, spikies. Prongs. It's just so rudimentary. It just works, honestly. It just works fucking perfectly.
He holds it out to the snakes and then stops and lets a snake slither up it onto his shoulder, and then he holds it in his hand, and it makes him look like an old school devil. He's got the pitchfork, he's got the horns, he's got a snake wrapped around him now.
It's kind of sick, not gonna lie.
No, it's really cool. We get more narration about him finding the killer and having to set things right. We watch the waitress leave her job in the middle of the night, and she gets in her car, and you watch a snake slither underneath it and then slither under her floorboards and like get into her car while she's applying lipstick after her shift. Why? And he says it later, it's a vanity thing, but it's just, why? Like,
vanity.
I just couldn't imagine. Well, you talked about this in 7. Like, I just could not imagine that being my go-to sin.
There are people, I guarantee you, out in the world who they get in a car and they put on lipstick because they're going to be looking in their mirror enough and looking at themselves enough that they want to look good when they look at themselves.
If she's doing it for herself, then good for her. Slay.
But she's doing it for herself in the way that's...
She's a terrible person.
Gross and selfish.
She's a terrible person.
Like, oh, I'm so pretty, and I don't give a fuck if anyone else gets fucked over because I'm just so pretty. It's like, shut the fuck up.
But no, you're allowed to look good for yourself.
You are 100%. I'm not saying you're not allowed to look good for yourself.
I'm not saying you're saying
I know.
that.
I'm not.
She looks in the rearview mirror and sees Ig standing there with a pitchfork looking like a fucking devil.
Oh, and he smiles. He gives this like evilish smile, and she screams and freaks out.
And then snakes descend upon her, biting her everywhere.
Yeah. She starts freaking out, attacking by snakes. She falls out of the car, and she's covered in snake bites, and she's all red. And he walks up, and he's like,
vanity doesn't pay.
Yeah, gonna be a long time before you can make yourself beautiful again. It's just like, damn, bro. I mean, shit.
Oh, he drives off, and the cops are following him, and he like pulls over or finds them and says, why are you, like, confronts them about following him, and he's like, we're doing our fucking job. And it's obviously Eric and Schlutz again. They say something, and he's like, wouldn't you guys rather just suck each other off right now? And they look at each other and they're like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? And I
think this is where he tells Eric, dude, when I told you that day that it was all my fault, it was because I left her alone. That is why I said it was all my fault. It is not because I murdered her. He actually clears it up with Eric here.
I think he also mentions, like, you've put on this macho facade by calling us all homos this whole time because you kind of hate yourself, huh?
Yeah.
And so that he also gets called out for that. They talk about whacking off, because that's what they call it in this. Whacking off, and then they start making out and getting hot and heavy. They're stripping off their clothes, and then as the camera zooms out, and you just see the cop car rocking back and forth, and the windows fogging up. He then goes to his parents' house to confront Terry, who is drinking and snorting coke. He comments on the snake, and Higgs like, yeah, I made some new friends. Terry asks him if he wants some drugs. He goes over to this bag, and then he gets a tray, and there's like shrooms and coke and pills and something else, maybe a bag of weed. I'm not sure what there's 4 bags, and takes it over and, offers some to Ig, who doesn't want any. He wants to stay clear-headed tonight. Terry talks about how he hasn't been able to stay sober since Marin died, and does a line of coke off his hand again. He smokes a cigarette, then washes all of that down with some alcohol. Homie is 90s rock star going through it.
Yeah.
80s rock star with all of the drugs. They talk about that night and how Terry was a coward for not telling the cops about Marin, and how he was the last person to see him or see her. And he could have come forward at any time. And he's like, I know, but I can't because of, his whole shit. Ig tells him he's a selfish coward, and then tells Terry to finish off the plate. And Terry looks at him and says, all of it? And he says, all of it. So he grabs the handful of pills, dumps them in his mouth, washes it down with his alcohol, gets the bag of coke, dumps that out, snorts it up to a point where he's got, like, his beard is full of coke. He washes it down with more of his liquor, gets the shrooms handful, dumps that in his mouth. And the camera does the thing where it gets all drugged out, you know, you can't really focus on anything, and you get these very abstract scenes of snakes and Terry yelling for egg and...
You know, something kind of crazy. I did a lot of stupid shit when I was a kid. I never did, like, I never did cocaine or heroin or meth or anything like that. But I have tried acid. And the last time I did it, I did too much. And I tripped really hard for like 12 hours straight. For maybe like 5 years after that, I got a sort of acid PTSD whenever I saw shit like this in movies. Like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas gave me a panic attack.
Yeah.
At least, you know, when I watched it all those years ago, I had literally tripped so hard that I had like a form of PTSD, like not lasting, obviously, because it's like gone away. I was able to watch it today with no problem, but like for a little bit I had like almost this fucking drug PTSD and just like couldn't watch that shit. So the first time I watched this scene, I was like, oh my God, like, and then so as Terry is eating these drugs, you know, shit gets all warbly, and then he gets like flashes of Marin's dead body covered in snakes, and then like Ig's face laughing and contorting in flames and all this weird shit.
And Ig tells him that he's going to experience everything Marin did, but worse. The worst part is you're going to survive. Yeah.
Terry eventually like falls on the ground, and then he starts getting pulled by fucking roots and vines.
And snakes.
Like, and snakes into the ground. And the ground isn't like, it's not the floor of the house anymore. It's like
forest,
lush forest floor. That shit fucking freaked me out too, thinking about like sinking into no fucking thank you.
Ig says that punishing his brother was the hardest thing he's ever had to do, but it was the only way that he can help him. He finds Lee finds him smoking at the lumber yard place again, and they talk about how long everything with Marin was going on. How long were they seeing each other? What were they doing? They're getting into this argument and scuffle, and Ig pulls off the necklace from Lee, who drops to the hood of the car on the ground saying, "What the fuck are those horns?" Marin's necklace, the cross necklace, was protecting him from seeing the horns and being affected by them. So now he's full ass affected.
Yep. And Ig sees that, and he's like, oh, here we fucking go.
Ig points the pitchfork at him, making him confess, and Lee says he killed Marin. He loved her just as much as Ig did. He says, Ig talks about how he's the nicest, most selfless person he's ever met. He saved Ig when they were children, and Lee laughs, saying, yeah, that's the worst mistake of my life. I should have let you drown. Which, that's gotta be gut-wrenching in a whole different way, man. Mm-hmm. He then touches him to find out the whole truth. And we get a flash of Marin asking Lee on the like river side if Ig is gonna propose soon, and how she can't marry him because of reasons, and that he would like Lee to be there when he proposes tonight because she thinks it'd be easier if he had someone else there to comfort him. Lee gets all up in her space, like steps up to her, and it looks like he's gonna like kiss her or do something. And she leans his head down and then just kisses his forehead all sweet, walking away. We see Lee then sitting in the parking lot watching them fight in the diner. He didn't actually go in. He then follows Terry and Marin to the whole... They're driving off the road, and Terry is passed out in the car, and he calls out for Marin and calls out and goes to the treehouse. She calls out for Terry thinking it's him, and Lee's like, oh no, it's me. He says, like, let me take you home, let me get you dry, all this kind of stuff, and then she starts just weeping. He holds her, kisses her head, and then forces a kiss on her.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck, dude?
She's like, what are you doing? And he's like, there's no one here. There's no reason to pretend. There's always an elephant in the room because of our sexual tension. He doesn't say it that way, but literally says there's an elephant in the room because of everyone knows we should be together, but no one says it. And he says, I need to touch you. I need to feel you. I've been waiting for this for so long. And she says, we're just friends. And he just keeps forcing on her. He gets her to the ground, obviously fucking rapes her. As you understand that he's read into everything that she has ever done in her life around him. That this was all secret signals. And we talked about this in Obsessed.
Obsession.
Thank you. There aren't secret signals.
No.
No. If you've been friends since you were 12 and she's stayed with her boyfriend this entire fucking time and has not once told you that she likes you, she does not like you.
Also, if you are so dead determined that there are some sort of signals, communicate respectfully about your feelings and make sure that you both are on the same page in the right way.
Don't be a rapist.
Don't be a rapist. It's you know, I've said this before. It's not that fucking hard. It's really not hard because guess what? Not doing that shit requires the least amount of effort.
It's so easy to not be an asshole.
Yeah. You can just not.
You could just not.
That's the beautiful thing about it. Is you could just choose to not.
She says, I love Ig more than anything, and then gets her head smashed in with a rock, and that's when Ig leaps off of Lee saying her last words were saying she loves me. We hear
Lee
her
smacks him at the back. Yeah. With heavy chains.
He picks up those chains are heavy as fuck, dude. How does he just whips these things around like no other? Mm-hmm. He picks up one of the chains from the dock or the log. Like, dude, these chains are thick as fuck, and just whips the shit out of Ig with them. Keeps hitting him, saying love made a devil out of both of them. He explains that he wiped the rock on Terry's hand and then left it in the car. He grabs Ig by the horns, drags him into his Ig's own car, douses him in gasoline, saying, I've always wanted to try this. And he's like laughing as he just dumps gasoline on him, slams the car door, lights a match, and sets Ig on fire in the car, where he obviously instantly catches on fire. He tries to get out of the car, but Lee kicks the door shut. Ig's able to start the car, drive it into the lake, and fucking sink. And while that is happening, Lee is explaining that what he's going to tell everyone is that Ig confessed and then killed himself. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to be able to prove him wrong.
Yep.
Which, false. He was covered in gasoline, set on fire.
Yeah.
Definitely a suicide. What?
Yeah, like if they recovered his body from the water, they'd be like, "Oh, he didn't just drown himself. Someone set him on fire."
And who sets themselves on fire as a suicide attempt?
Yeah. Jesus.
So as that happens, we get news coverage of Eric telling the police Ig confessed to his lawyer. The lawyer told us he then killed himself. And one of the reporters says, is it true about the rumors of not finding a body? And Eric says, don't listen to anything that is not directly from the Gideon County Police. And then it fades back to the lake where Ig drags himself out of the water with full ass fucking horns now, completely red. He looks the most like a devil he's ever looked now.
Yeah. That's fucking sick.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We also get a cut of Ig's parents comforting themselves as Terry has a breathing tube down his neck in the hospital. Yep. Because he OD'd, obviously. Mm-hmm. He drags himself with the pitchfork. Oh, he has this line of saying, the best thing to come out of this is at least I'm fucking hard to kill.
Yeah.
He drags himself to Marin's dad's house again, where he's sitting on the porch in a rocking chair, and he looks at him fucking burned to shit, eyes white, barely standing, barely alive, saying, I did not kill her. And Dale actually believes him this time, saying, but you know who did, and I need you to tell me. And he goes off on a little thing about saying how if we have to live with the sins we choose, and this is his job, not Dale's, that like he'll handle the situation. Dale invites him in, takes him up to Marin's room, where he gives him a key, like an old school like key, metal key for a ridiculous padlock. Ig gives him Marin's cross, saying he deserves it. He should have this. And Dale gives it back to him, saying this was her mom's. It belongs to you more than it belongs to me. And he puts it on, turns human again. All of his burns go away. His horns are gone. There's like this clasp effect of everything turning gold around his neck and then him going back to human. And Dale saying that's a fucking miracle or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, some kind of blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how Ig talks about how he can feel her protecting him again. He goes to the tree, which is where the key is used, like the tree house, opens the padlock, and there is a letter for him written in Morse code that explains she has cancer and is dying, and she can't marry him because she does not want him to go through what her dad did, and she knows
with her mom.
Yeah, she knows that if she was weak enough to let Ig ask, she is weak enough to say yes and would make him go through all of that, and she can't do that to him. She'll hurt him just enough to get him away from her so he can still have a life and a wife and kids and grandkids and walk in the forest, and one day when he's old he'll walk to a tree and she'll be waiting for him there. And it's heartbreaking.
It fucking hurts. This whole thing hurts because Ig is just starting to cry and become happy as he's reading this because, like,
she loved him.
She loved him the whole time, and none of it's true. But it's just, oh my god, it's so fucking depressing, bro. Well, and it makes sense, you know, because in the beginning when they're sitting around, he's like, I'm gonna love you for the rest of my life, and she's like, no, just love me for the rest of mine.
It goes through these flashes of these things that now make sense, and him looking at her across the diner and why she's so distraught, and then her talking to Lee because she mentioned, like, you don't know what I'm going through, and it's her dying, and Lee took that as, like, she's in love with him, and all of this stuff, and all of these little signs that you don't put together because you don't know until you know.
Fucking hurts.
It's really sad. Or Terry wakes up in his room, and Ig is sitting in the corner saying, I'm gonna help you, like I made a promise. Ig says Lee's the one who killed Marin. Terry says he's not gonna let him do it alone. He looks at Terry, who's literally dying. Kid has OD'd. He's in a bed. He is weak as fuck, can barely move. He goes over to the window into the, like, to look at the waiting room where their parents are sitting, and he says, no, I need you to be okay for mom and dad. It's a whole, like, kind of feels like a suicide mission type deal.
Yeah.
We get the shot of Lee in his apartment, or like in his house, drinking coffee, looking down, and Ig's just sitting there outside a car staring at him. And obviously, so we already know when you're affected by the horns, you don't remember it. So all Lee knows is that Ig killed himself and confessed. Yeah. He doesn't remember the setting him on fire. He doesn't remember, like, any of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So he comes out and he's like, what is happening? Like, how are you? What is going on? And he's like, oh, let's just go for a walk, you know? No one's really looking for me. They all think I'm dead. And he's like, yeah, I thought you were dead. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Just a walk. He leads Lee to the treehouse. Lee asks him what they're doing there. And he's like, this is just going to be a lot easier if you actually tell me what's going on, because I already know. Lee tries to gaslight him hard. Saying you've been under a lot of stress, I'm your best friend, I would never do anything. Eric shows up with the gun, and Terry's looks like a zombie. He's leaning against a tree, falling over. He should not be out of his bed. And Lee says, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt her. It was a mistake. I can fix all of this, again, going back to when he was a kid and he used to be the fixer and they relied on him for a lot of things. And Eric has to step between him and Ig because he steps towards Ig again. They, like, have the standoff until he attacks Eric, pulls the gun out of his hands. Terry tackles him. He shoots Terry in the leg. Ig grabs a pitchfork, grabs some of the gun and spins it to the side. Lee pulls the trigger and shoots Eric in the head, exploding his head, obviously. It's
blows
a fucking
his head
shotgun.
off.
It goes from, like, 0 to 100 insane right now.
Yeah.
Lee, this entire time, is, like, laughing. He's psychotic at this point. He's got something going on with him. Ig rips the cross off of himself, and instead of growing horns, he grows white angel wings, gets launched into the sky. Terry and Lee are watching this happen, and then he starts burning midair, slams back into the ground, covered in flames as they engulf him, and he turns into a molten devil. Like, the flesh is
full horns, crackling like lava
skin, glowing molten orange. Lee shoots him once. He keeps moving, shoots him again, keeps moving, shoots him a third time, and he keeps moving towards Lee. This is not working. He ends up dropping to his knees, begging Ig not to kill him. Then he kicks him in the shin, picks up the pitchfork, and then shanks him in the stomach and pulls out, and Ig leaks like molten lava blood. It's just oozing out of him. And then he stabs him like a plethora of times with the pitchfork.
Yep.
Ig gets up and then bull rushes Lee, stabbing him with his horns, and then throwing him towards the riverbed, where you see these snakes slither up, and he sits up, and he's just got these gouge in his stomach, and this is where you can tell they're all CGI snakes. You can tell the entire time, but this is like the big one, where the snakes wrap around him like rope. One digs into his wound, digs it out of his back, so it goes in through his stomach, shoots out of his back, and then a giant one goes into his throat and slithers down him, effectively suffocating him as it slithers into his stomach.
Yeah.
And we don't see that one come out.
Terry gets up and goes and grabs Ig.
Who is now being fully affected by the gunshots and stabs. And
yeah, and they fall to the ground.
The best way I can describe it is like his flame is going out.
Yeah, the flame slowly fades away, and he kind of gets gray as Terry's like, Ig? No, Ig, hello?
He's turning to coal.
And then we hear Ig's monologue.
About how revenge is all-consuming and blah, blah, blah. And pretty much what I said earlier about, like, the path to hell is paved with good intentions, but he met back up with her, and that's all that really mattered. And we get the opening scene of them laying on the blanket together, saying, I'll love you till the day I die. I just need you to love me for the rest of mine. Or until I do, or whatever it is. And pan up through the forest to the sun coming through these branches, and cut to credits.
Oh, man. It's such a wild ride of a movie, because you have the comedy bits where it's just so, like, ridiculous and crazy. And then you have, like, the true, like, heartfelt, emotional portions where you're just left feeling like, damn, what the fuck?
And this movie, I believe, is currently on Tubi or Pluto.
I watched it on Pluto.
Yeah, we just watched it on Pluto if you guys wanted to go watch it.
It's great.
And then come join book club.
I will always recommend this movie. I will always recommend it. It's so, so good. And if you want to see a little baby Sabrina Carpenter, even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good. Add it to the list.
Yeah, add it to the list and maybe tell us what you think.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Follow our Instagram and threads at No Self Service Pod. Until next time.